This week on The Bird's Nest, we're going to discuss some of the realities when it comes to tournament fishing. We're going to recap the past weekend's kayak fishing tournament and some new boxes that we'll be exploring. Due to all the news and important information this week, we will not be answering viewer questions. We also had plans to discuss the Tourney X app, but I believe there is other information that we need to discuss prior to getting into the nitty-gritty of tournament fishing. So hang on as we get started. As a reminder, stick around to the end for an update on our Monster Bass Box giveaway. Welcome back to Black Widow Fishing. I'm Bryce. If you're new here, we cover all things fishing, from products and services that can improve your skills or enjoyment of the sport to current news coming out of the fishing industry. If this sounds like something that interests you, please hit that subscribe button, as it really helps the channel out. The first thing I want to discuss are the realities of tournament fishing. When it comes to tournament fishing, I have a much different viewpoint than many others out there. Unlike others, I believe there are only two types of tournament anglers: the weekend warriors and the professionals. For me, the simple breakdown makes it very easy to set your expectations and lay the groundwork for what to expect from tournaments. Our weekend warriors are essentially those anglers that maintain other jobs and fish in tournaments on the weekend. Their main objective is to have fun, and winning any money or prizes only adds to the fun. Your professional anglers may or may not have a regular job. They fish often during the week and attend tournaments all year long. The few things that separate them from the weekend warriors are the side activities they do to try and earn income or influence in the industry, and their goal for fishing tournaments. Professional anglers participate in tournaments to win money. While fishing is always fun, the pro angler is not having fun if they aren't in the money. An overwhelmingly majority of pro anglers are middle-aged and beyond, and there is a reason for this. Most anglers would say that it's experience that separates them, and young people simply don't have that experience. I personally feel there is a little bit of truth to that, but I don't believe that to be defining. In my own personal experience, I have been fishing all my life, and my fishing partner Tony has started fishing in the past few years. I will admit, on any given day, he performs better than me. While I certainly have at least 2 decades of fishing experience over him, my experience was not solely focused on bass fishing. His few short years of fishing have been solely laser focused on bass fishing, which pays dividends for him. I believe it is always a case of quality over quantity. The truth, though, of why most pro anglers are middle-aged and beyond is because bass fishing or tournament fishing in general is terribly expensive. Most young people don't have the same level of security or means to either not work or miss work to fish tournaments like older people can. This is the most limiting factor of breaking into the tournament scene. This is also why the demographic of bass fishing tournaments don't favor people that look like me often. With Ish Monroe retiring, Bassmasters Elite Series has 0 black anglers, and if I am not mistaken, I believe Brian Lattimore is the only black angler on the MLF Pro Tour. Yes, there are sponsors, and every angler needs sponsors of some sort. But if you don't win, you don't earn money, and you still have tons of other expenses to account for that sponsorships simply don't cover. At tournaments, things go haywire at times, and small decisions can have a big impact on what happens. For the weekend warrior, they just roll with the punches and often can lose the mental focus needed to continue. The professional angler needs to adapt to the situations, stay mentally focused, and be prepared for additional expenses that result, especially if they don't win the tournament. This past weekend, California Bass Nation Kayak held their state championship event in conjunction with Wild West Bass Trail Kayak Series Tournament of Champions. In both respective tournaments, the top 50 anglers from each received an invite to compete on Clear Lake for 2 days. I was fortunate enough to qualify and compete in both. This was a particularly tough tournament for all anglers due to the weather, fluctuating water temperatures, and Clear Lake having extreme pressure from years of competitive fishing. All these factors made the bite very tough, and Clear Lake did not fish particularly well or how it does historically. With the great reduction in improved events for next year, hopefully this great fishery can return to its former glory. For me, this tournament was by far the hardest of the entire year. First, my net is now broken. As you can see, it's all bent to hell and is very hard to get to open fully. I'm most likely going to replace it with a Yak Attack leverage net, which runs around $90 to $100. The second thing I broke was one of my fishing rods. Gookin Gold reaction rod to be exact. The rod snapped on hook set and is about 8 inches from the tip. Factory rods are almost always built off spine, which results in a super straight rod, but not building on spine makes them weaker. I have been making my own rods with plan to eventually replace all of my factory purchase rods with ones I custom build. So at the end of the day, I'll replace this rod with a handmade rod. The total should be around $150 for what I have in mind. The next thing I broke was my Visi Carbon Pro 360 flag and light from Yak Attack. You can see right there. These things cost about $100, and this is the second one I have broken this year alone. I think for the price of these flag light combos, they are too fragile, and I won't be purchasing another one. I haven't decided on what I'll be replacing it with, but I can tell you my decision is between the Burley Pro Orb, that is $189, or building a custom one for an amount that is unknown at this point. The final thing I broke or needed emergency fixing were my wire connections to my batteries. I had multiple failures during the weekend which required field level repairs. It shouldn't be too expensive to repair these properly, but it will be done once I'm completed with the complete teardown of the kayak. I also had tons of issues with my GoPros in making sure everything was recorded right, but I did manage to record the first fish of the day that I lost by knocking it off the hook with the net. Here's a video of that now. For some reason, which I haven't figured out yet, the video of the fish I did catch didn't record, but here's a picture of it. It was 17 3/4 of an inch. And although we don't weigh fish in the kayak tournaments, it was at least 5 pounds pushing 6. Now let's get to the results. California Bass Nation, the money winners, or who will be known as the 5 for the next year, are pictured here. Right to left, the winner was Josh Bryant with 182 3/4 inches. Alex Ramirez with 175 3/4 inches, Damian Thau with 175.5 inches, Garrett Clark with 172 1/4 inches, and Calvin Vang with 169 inches. All 5 of these men fish extremely well in a very tough few days. All will be headed to the Bassmasters Kayak Classic in March of 2023 in Knoxville, Tennessee to represent California. I truly wish them all the best of luck. Sean Latham was the lucky winner of the 2022 Hobie Pro Angler 360 presented by Pacific Outfitters in the raffle. In the Wild West Bass Trail Kayak 2022 Tournament of Champions, the top 4 in the money were winner Damian Thau with 175.5 inches, Garrett Clark with 172 1/4 inches, Calvin Vang with 169 inches, and Julio De La Rosa with 165 1/4 inches. Coming up on the channel, we'll be doing the next Monster Bass unboxing this week. I'm also excited to announce that I will be doing some unboxings of Lucky Tackle Box, a Bass Finder Tackle Box, and Warriors Tackle Supply Box. These boxes will be my first time opening one of them, so I'm going to order just one box, tell you what I think of them in general, and let you know if I decided to subscribe to them or not. Leave me a comment about which of these boxes you want to see me open first. We are currently sitting at 29 subscribers and have 71 more subs to go before we can give away a free Monster Bass box. Let's get those subs up so we can give that box away before October 15th. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's all for now. Catch you next time.